Don't scroll. This message is meant for you. If lately you've been feeling lost, empty, or far from yourself, know this: it's not distance, it's a calling. A gentle, quiet call from the one who never leaves. When life confuses you, when the world turns cold, and your heart feels heavy for no reason, that's not the end. That's Allah whispering, "Come back to me." Every pain, every silence, every unanswered prayer is not rejection, it's redirection. It's Him pulling you closer through the things you don't understand. You see, when Allah wants to guide you, He doesn't always use ease. Sometimes He uses emptiness, because only when your heart is empty of this world can it finally be filled with Him. The truth is, being lost is not the problem, forgetting who to turn to is. Yusuf A.S. was lost in the well, but he was never without Allah. Musa A.S. was lost in the desert, but his Lord was his path. And you, even now, even here, are exactly where you're meant to be, because Allah never loses His servants. He just waits for them to return. So when you feel lost, stop running. Sit in the silence. Whisper, "Ya Allah, guide me back." Even if your voice shakes, even if your heart feels empty, that's the most sincere prayer you can make. Because Allah hears what the tongue cannot say and understands what the soul cannot express. The darkness you're walking through is not a punishment, it's a bridge. And on the other side of that bridge is peace, forgiveness, and light. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to remember who never left you, not even for a heartbeat. So tonight, as you close your eyes, let go of everything pulling you away. Whisper His name. Return home. Because when you feel lost, Allah is not far, He is calling you closer, waiting with mercy wider than your mistakes, and love deeper than your pain. And when you finally answer that call, everything begins to change. The noise that once filled your mind starts to fade, replaced by a quiet you didn't know you needed. You begin to see that your pain was never random, that every tear carried a lesson, every delay hid a blessing, and every moment of confusion was guiding you somewhere sacred. Ibn Arabi said that when Allah loves someone, He breaks their plans so they can find His. That's why what you thought was falling apart was really falling into place. The loneliness you feel isn't absence, it's space being made for connection. The heartbreak wasn't cruelty, it was protection. Allah removes what blocks your path, even when you cling to it with everything you have. Because He knows what your heart doesn't. He knows that without the breaking, you wouldn't bow. Without the silence, you wouldn't listen. And without the loss, you wouldn't return. So when the world feels distant, remember this: you are not being forgotten, you are being refined. You're being softened, polished, and brought back to the one who created you out of love. The pain that made you cry will one day make you grateful, because it brought you closer to the one who never lets go. Keep walking, even when you don't see the road. Keep whispering His name, even when you don't feel His presence. Because faith isn't about always feeling close, it's about trusting that He's close even when you don't feel it. One day you'll look back and realize that what you called being lost was actually Allah leading you home. And when that realization settles deep within you, peace begins to return, and slowly, quietly, like dawn after a long night. You'll start to notice the small signs that were always there: the ease after a moment of struggle, the calm after a prayer, the strange comfort that appears when you finally say, "I can't do this alone." That's not coincidence. That's Allah responding to the heart that finally surrendered. Ibn Arabi said that every longing in the heart is Allah calling His servant back to remembrance. So even your sadness is a message, even your restlessness is a sign. Every time you feel lost, it's because your soul misses the one who created it. The world distracts you, people disappoint you, plans collapse, and yet through it all, Allah keeps calling, softly, patiently. through the rhythm of your pain. And when you finally pause to listen, you'll hear it clearly. That ache in your chest isn't emptiness, it's direction. It's pulling you toward sujud, toward peace, toward home. The moment you stop resisting and say, Ya Allah, I trust you, the storm begins to calm. Your tears become prayers. Your fears turn into faith. And little by little, the same place that once felt like the end starts to feel like the beginning. Because you were never truly lost, you were simply being led back, step by step, to the one who never left. And when you live in that awareness, your entire world begins to look different. You stop seeing hardship as punishment and start seeing it as guidance. Every trial becomes a doorway, every delay a lesson, every fall a step closer to rising again. Ibn Arabi said that when Allah loves you, He doesn't make life easy, He makes it meaningful. The pain that once made you question everything now becomes the proof that He's working within you. You start to realize that the very moments that broke you were the ones that brought you to your knees, and that's where you found Him. You learn that the emptiness you feared was not a void, it was space being cleared for something real, something eternal. Allah never takes without giving, and He never tests without purpose. So when He removes people, it's because He wants you to rely on Him. When He sends hardship, it's because He's strengthening you. When He delays, it's because He's preparing you. You begin to see that your life was never random. Every tear, every silence, every unanswered prayer was part of His perfect design. And with that understanding, the anxiety fades, the fear softens, and gratitude begins to grow in places where pain once lived. You start to whisper Alhamdulillah not only for what's easy, but for what hurt, because now you see that every wound was a path leading you closer to the one who heals all wounds. And when that gratitude takes root, you begin to walk through life with a peace that nothing can shake. You no longer ask, why me? You start to say, guide me. You no longer chase what runs, because you've learned that whatever is meant for you will never miss you, and whatever misses you was never meant for you. Ibn Arabi said that the lover of Allah does not seek comfort in the world, but in the one who created it. So you stop searching for peace in people, in success, in control, you search for it only in Him. The same storms that once terrified you now remind you of His power. The same emptiness that once scared you now feels like home. Because you've realized something profound, being lost was never a curse. It was the beginning of your return. Every detour, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer was a divine redirection, bringing you back to the one who knows you better than you know yourself. And the closer you get, the lighter you feel. You start to walk slower, breathe deeper, smile more, because you know that no matter where life leads, you are never alone. Allah was with you in the silence, in the waiting, in the breaking, and now, in the peace that follows. So when you feel lost again, and you will, because life will test you, remember this, the road back to Allah is never far. It begins right where you are, with one sincere whisper, Ya Allah, I'm ready to come home. And when those words finally leave your lips, the world seems to pause for a moment as if everything around you recognizes that your heart has just turned back to its Creator. The peace that follows isn't loud or dramatic, it's quiet, steady, like a soft light slowly filling a dark room. Ibn Arabi said that the distance between you and Allah is only the distance between your heart and remembrance. The moment you remember Him, the distance disappears. You begin to feel that truth in every breath. You start to see how He was never far, not in your hardest days, not in your loneliest nights. Every heartbeat was a reminder, every tear was a call, every silence was His mercy holding you until you were ready to listen. And now, you understand, the feeling of being lost was never about losing direction, it was about finding depth. Allah didn't hide from you, He hid you from everything else until you remembered Him. And once you do, everything starts to align. The pain doesn't vanish, but it no longer controls you. The past no longer hurts, it teaches. The future no longer scares you, it invites. Because you know who writes your story, and that knowledge is enough. So the next time your heart aches, don't run from it, listen to it. Somewhere in that ache is the echo of his call, gently saying, "Come back to me." And when you answer, you'll find that what you called being lost was, all along, Allah guiding you closer, not away, but home. And once your heart truly returns home, you'll never see life the same way again. The same moments that used to break you will now remind you of how strong faith made you. You'll start to recognize the wisdom hidden inside everything you once questioned. Ibn Arabi said that every experience, joy or pain, is a letter from Allah written specifically for your soul. Some letters are gentle, others are heavy, but all carry the same message: I am here. And when you finally understand that, nothing feels meaningless anymore. The loss that once made you cry now feels like purification. The delay that once frustrated you now feels like protection. Even the silence becomes beautiful, because you know that silence is not absence, it's attention. Allah listens even when you can't find the words. You realize that every hardship brought you closer, that every unanswered dua was replaced by something better, maybe not in your hands, but in your heart. And when you finally taste that sweetness of surrender, you'll wonder why you ever feared being lost at all. Because being lost was never losing him, it was losing the illusion that you could live without him. Now, wherever life takes you, whether in peace or trial, your heart will whisper the same truth: I was never alone. And that realization, that you were always guided, always held, always loved, becomes the calm that never leaves you, no matter how far you travel. And as that calm settles deeper into your soul, you begin to live with a quiet certainty that no storm can touch. You walk through life no longer begging for control, but trusting the one who already has it. Ibn Arabi said that faith is not believing that life will always be kind, it's knowing that every moment, kind or cruel, is from the one who loves you most. You start to feel that truth in everything: the laughter of strangers, the stillness after prayer, the softness of forgiveness in your own heart. The same world that once felt heavy now feels sacred, because you see Allah in every detail. Even pain has beauty now, because it reminds you of His nearness. You stop trying to escape your story and start living it with purpose, because you finally understand that every step, even the ones that hurt, was leading you exactly here. And when darkness comes again, as it always does, you no longer panic. You close your eyes, breathe, and whisper, Ya Allah, I trust you. Because you've learned that His light is not only found at the end of the tunnel, it's what guides you through it. You've learned that being lost was never the problem, forgetting who to turn to was. And now that you've found your way back, you know that no matter what happens, you will never truly be lost again. Because the one who called you closer still whispers your name, not from far away, but from within your heart. And from that moment on, you live differently. You still face trials, you still feel sadness, but beneath it all runs a peace that never leaves, a quiet knowing that every rise and fall is part of His plan. You stop measuring your days by what you have and start measuring them by how close you feel to Him. Ibn Arabi said that the believer's heart is a compass that always points back to its Creator, no matter how many times it's turned around. And now you understand that. You can be surrounded by chaos and still feel calm, because your anchor is not in this world, it's in remembrance. You can lose everything and still feel whole, because what truly matters can never be taken from you. You begin to see that every loss was really a doorway to something eternal. That heartbreak that once made you question your worth was Allah teaching you where to place your love. That loneliness that once hurt so deeply was Allah showing you that He was always enough. And when you lie down at night, no longer restless, no longer afraid, you whisper again, Ya Allah, thank you for never leaving me, even when I wandered. And you fall asleep not in confusion, but in contentment, because the one who once felt lost now feels found. Found in prayer, in peace, in purpose. Found in the realization that Allah was never far. He was calling you closer all along, and this time, you answered. And as you keep answering that call, day after day, your entire life becomes a form of remembrance. You start to see Allah's mercy in everything, in the faces you meet, in the challenges you endure, even in the moments you don't understand. The same road that once felt endless now feels guided, each step unfolding with quiet wisdom. Ibn Arabi said that when the heart remembers its origin, every path leads home. You no longer rush time or chase outcomes, you trust the rhythm of divine timing. When something leaves, you let it go with peace. When something arrives, you receive it with gratitude. Because you finally know what is meant for you will come by His command, not by your effort. What is not meant will fade, no matter how tightly you hold it. And there's beauty in that surrender. There's freedom in not needing to control everything. You stop praying only for ease, and start praying for closeness. You stop asking why me, and start whispering, what are you teaching me, Ya Allah? And that shift changes everything. The world no longer feels like a maze, it feels like a message. Every sunrise feels like mercy. Every breath feels like dhikr. And deep down, you understand that even if you lose your way again, even if the light dims, you'll never truly be lost. Because now you know where to turn. The road back to Allah isn't somewhere far away, it lives within your heart, waiting for you to simply say, I'm home. And that's when the truth becomes clear, you were never lost at all, only being lovingly led back to the one who never left. Every tear, every silence, every sleepless night was a message written in mercy, a path paved by love. Ibn Arabi said that when the servant finally understands the meaning of loss, he no longer grieves what's gone, he praises the one who guided him through it. And now, that's you. The heart that once trembled is steady, the soul that once searched has arrived. You no longer ask for signs, because your entire life has become one. You smile through the uncertainty, because you've learned that every moment, the joy and the pain, is part of Allah's way of saying, I am here. So when you feel lost again, as every soul sometimes does, you won't despair. You'll close your eyes, breathe, and remember this peace. You'll whisper softly, Ya Allah, I trust your plan. And in that whisper, the world will fall silent, your heart will open, and you'll feel it once more, the gentle truth that changed everything, you were never lost. Allah was calling you closer all along, and now, you are home.